Are we going full Christian or like God? Oh, it is called God Talk. We're called God Talk.
I don't know if we're gonna call it God talk. We might
What?
call it marriage talk. I was just thinking this as
No,
we were
no, no.
talking about
God
it.
Talk is so funny.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Marriage
We'll
Talk.
see, Evans.
Well,
If this makes it on the video, you'll know who won this fight after it's up.
God Talk.
Welcome to God Talks with Audrey and Tyler. We decided that we would start doing talks and recording them because Audrey and I have great talks in uh, our evenings once the kids are in bed. And we've recently been thinking, man, married couples have such a hard time with real communication. And we have worked so hard on having deep, honest, real communication. We've thought about like creating a marriage course, and I think someday we might even do that. But we realized in the short term, what might be more helpful
And
than
entertaining, maybe.
and maybe entertaining than doing a like a educational like let us teach you about marriage is what if we just start talking and then like show people this is what it's like when a married couple actually likes each other and talks to each other and don't agree but know how to get along. And so um our hope is that we'll just start talking and sort of forget that the camera's there and have a conversation and most people will probably be like, what is this? But we're thinking that maybe married couples that, if they're honest, realize like we don't like see eye to eye. We don't know how to get through to each other. We don't understand each other. Maybe those people will somehow find this and be like, oh, like I need this. So, anyways, what were we going to talk about tonight, honey? What's our first topic of conversation?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're thinking about talking about marriage.
Yeah. So, honey, what would you say that marriage is about? Why do two people get married? Why do they do that?
I think it's really different than what we're told it's about.
What are we told it's about?
Well, at least I grew up thinking it's about me finding my true love story.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Prince Charming. Tall, dark. Maybe you got one out of three.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Tall.
Marriage is so different than what I think I thought. Marriage
I agree with that.
is about this whole story that God is playing out. That's what marriage is about. Two very different beings coming together.
Like what's intriguing about that or motivating? Like, oh yeah, I wanna give my whole life to someone that I don't get and is completely on the other side of things from me.
Well, if you know that it's really about God loving us, then in the picture of God, I'm like, God loves me no matter what. I can trust him, I can give myself to him. And when you realize that marriage is a picture of that playing out, then you're like choosing to trust the other person. Like I'm choosing to trust you. I'm choosing to love you. I'm like choosing to do all those things that,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, even on the stupid God talk, I'm like struggling to say what it's really about.
You mean like you're afraid of what people are going to think about what you're saying?
Yes,
But there's no one else here. It's just you and me talking. It's just,
I know.
is it because I'm making you uncomfortable? Is it
0%.
because I'm tall, dark, and handsome?
0%.
I feel so awkward around you. But we were talking about this a couple
Yeah.
days ago that we were going to start doing this and we were going to talk about this
Yes.
as the first thing. So
Was
we've
I
both
supposed
been
to
sort
think
of
about
you're
this?
supposed to think of a better answer than that, but it's funny because I've been thinking about it and I didn't think of it the exact same way, but something very similar that I think, I don't know if this is what marriage is about, but I think that one of the magical, like most powerful and challenging things about it is that men and women are complete opposites. I mean, they're so different, right? Like And that's really the crux challenge to marriage, I think, is that like it's like we'll look at the same thing, and it's not because we're against each other, and it's not because we are like one's good and one's bad. That's like the magical part about it, is that both can be good, but you can see it so differently that you actually don't understand how the other person is seeing it that way. And that is where like the husband and wife meet each other, is like, what? Like that's what you were thinking about? I think when we first got married, we distrusted each other. Like you were just talking about how you build trust. Like we like I know that from my perspective, I was like, either there's something wrong with you, or I can't trust you because you're seeing it wrong. Like that's not the way the thing
Mm.
is that we're talking about. But I've learned over time, this is one of the amazing things about marriage, is learning to trust someone. Like realize when and in like a faithful marriage where both parties are in like fully invested. It's safe. You belong to each other. You are committed, like through sickness and health, we're gonna love each other.
Hmm.
And so like the intent is good,
Yeah.
and yet you see things differently and you disagree, and it's passionate. Like there are times when we disagree, and it's like that. I think you're crazy. Like that is not right, and that's like could
Mm.
be either of us talking, and yet I have to like over the course of the last 15 years, I've realized anyways, but I have to honestly consider your perspective because I know you're not crazy now, and I know you are sincere. And there have been a lot of times where I was certain I was right, and I turned out to be wrong. Right. And
Oh
so,
yeah, that's awesome. As you're saying this is why it's so essential that people, I know when we got married, we were both in the category of like, this is a joke. No, like murder, maybe, like divorce, never. Like
oh yeah,
like
divorce never, murder maybe.
we were
Yeah, yeah.
never, we both knew like, this is it. Like I'm
Right.
never,
This is for life. There's
yeah,
no
like I'm
escape.
never gonna get a divorce. So wow, like
Right. So,
we're stuck. There were times early on when it was really scary, right? Because we got married so fast, and then it's like,
yeah.
just when you do see so differently, it's like, is this person ever going to understand what I'm saying? Or like, but when there is,
Or get me. Like, am I
yes,
going to be
exactly, exactly,
unknown
forever, yeah.
in my most like intimate relationship? Like, is this person gonna understand where I'm coming from and trust where I'm coming from when they
Hmm.
come from a different place? And there might be married couples that are more similar. Obviously, there are some married couples that are gonna be more similar and further apart, or like more
It's
different.
so
But
funny because people think that we're so much alike.
I know.
I think,
And I think that's what's interesting, is that like
yeah,
there's also so many layers to
yeah,
relationships, and like there are ways in like there are a lot of areas
yeah,
where we think exactly like we like I could quote what you think, and it's like what I think, and vice versa.
yeah.
But there are other areas where we just like totally see things differently. Like here's a for instance.
I'm scared.
I know, yeah, I'm gonna pick one that's not scary. Um, just because we're getting started, right? Well, it'll get juicier but like in terms like just very generic thing, but like artistically, right?
Oh yeah.
Like I am like a graphic designer. Like every like I want to get a ruler out with my like if we were doing a drawing or we're designing something. If it's a garden, like I want every stone to be in place. And you are like, if things are like more random, it's more abstract and like an impressionist and like it implies something rather than like laying out exactly what it is. I'm like, the drawing's not finished. And you're like, no, it's implied or whatever, right? And so we then have to say, well, all right, but if we're gonna hang that up on the wall, people are gonna think we're weirdos. And you're like,
We are
no,
weirdos.
isn't that what we want? Like
What if
we
this is
want them to
weirdo?
think we're weirdos, right? And others gonna think of us, or what does this say about us? Or and it's like, well, that's right. What does it say about us? Because it's not just what does it say about me anymore. As I've like, experienced what you appreciate and like we've tried your things, I'm like, oh, actually, there's really something to that, right? And before, I would have been in my own little world. You started off saying something about how it's about learning to trust, and it's about learning to trust someone who is truly different. And you're right that I think that really is a larger metaphor for our relationship with God, the one who is truly other. He is literally transcendent, right? And that's one like part of it. And I
Hmm.
think there's another part of it that we could talk about, which is like when you're truly in a safe relationship where both people are committed and there's no way out, it's okay to be wrong and it's okay to be screwed up, and it's
Oh
okay
yeah,
to be like broken. Like I think we both came into the marriage like with really broken parts and have been incredibly healed, being
through
able
the process.
through the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
And like it's not like I want to be in the wrong place. We found each other there. Let's like get there together, because this could be better.
What I'm trying to say is that I think that was a little bit of a rabbit. What's that called?
It's
Rabbit.
oh, we can cut it out later.
Okay. So yeah. Just keep that
No,
part in.
keep it in.
Keep
See,
it
this is
in.
what I'm talking about. Like she would keep that in, and I'd be like, no, like we have to have said the right things and expressed ourselves clearly. And she's like, no, it's all about the mess. They need to see the mess. And I'm like, that makes sense, right? Because we're trying to get
Yeah.
out of the mess. We need to see the mess. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So what I'm trying
what
to
in the world
say,
are you talking about?
okay, but I think I have so many different thoughts
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to share, and
Yeah, yeah.
maybe marriage needs to be covered
Just
in more than one time.
throw paint at the
Okay,
wall. It'll make something.
when we had so many issues that we didn't even know when we
Right.
first got
That's for
married.
sure.
And I feel like it's just because it's almost like we were thrown into like one of those, what's it, ultimate fighter cages,
Oh
there's like a
yeah.
cage.
Yeah, and like everyone else left. They were like,
No,
like I don't need to see this. And we were like,
no, I mean, it's like when you get married in a marriage where you're like, we're not getting divorced.
yeah, there's no escape.
There's no
Like, yeah,
escape.
yeah.
We're like thrown into the cage.
Right.
And
It's like figure it
and
out.
it's like there's so much fun, there's so much joy. Then there's like, why isn't this working? You just keep having these, or you keep having these headbutts, just going through it, just like getting through it, and then realizing like, oh, he's still here. And oh, like he still loves me. Oh, like we can have that argument and love each other through it, and then like have it again, hit that same like roadblock, and it's okay.
For instance, when we were dating, right? I would sometimes like get quiet,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my
And
God.
you
Horrified me.
would think, oh, he is not interested in
Wait,
me.
can I say you got quiet like a lot?
Yeah, I did.
Like
I did.
silent, like a monk. And I'd be like,
Right.
oh my gosh, like what is going on?
Yeah.
It
And
happens sometimes now, even occasionally.
right.
Yeah.
But now now it's not like you'd be like thinking like he's angry, he's
Yes.
mad.
Sometimes I still think that, but then I'm more like chill
Mm.
about it, like, okay, well, if you're mad at me, like probably I am doing something dumb, and like we're gonna
Well,
talk
and I
about
would
it.
tell you if I'm
Right.
angry, right?
Right.
Maybe guys just don't talk as much, It's like I
No.
don't need to talk right now.
No.
No, no, it's not
No,
that.
it's
No, it's
it's
definitely
not
not
that.
that.
No, when you're quiet, there's like it's definitely with a purpose.
I'm brooding over something. That's true. That's true.
What I would love for people to see, whether, I mean, I'd love for people who aren't married to learn this and expect this and want this when they get married. But even if people are married and they're confused, it's the fact that part of your destiny as a person is like, this person was brought to you, and there is like a journey to go through with them
Mm,
that involves things you don't want to do. It's not mindless or purposeless suffering.
right,
God brought this suffering, not suffering, but God wants you for you.
right.
You need to
Like
go
it's good
through
for
this.
you.
Yeah, you.
It's not just good for the other. It's not like I'm doing this for the other person
Right. No,
because
no, no, no.
they need it and I hate it. It's actually like,
No.
no, it like brings you
No,
alive.
I think that's a comforting thing too for single people, where it's like, oh, I'm being selfish that I want this relationship or something, and it's like, well, no, I mean, if I was still single at this point, my goodness, I would just not be developed.
The way that marriage calls you out of yourself and your own
Yeah, exactly.
comfort zone and your own like
Self
self-seeking pleasure,
pleasure.
it is insane, right?
Yeah.
And it really brings you to a place where you become other focused, right? And then you have children, and that just like
So other focus.
exponentially changes. I don't even have the opportunity to have a thought like, what do I want to do tonight?
Right.
Like, do I want to like watch a Netflix show? Do I want to have a beer? It's like I literally walk through the door and there are at least three people literally standing there, like as I open the door, like you're home. Like, let me play you this song I learned today. Like, look at my braces, and like bombardment.
Yet ironically, would
So
you
much.
ever be so
Exactly.
depressed?
That's the whole point, right? Like when you guys go out of town in the summer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like go like, to visit family or whatever, and I stay home and work. Coworkers who are,
yeah.
like younger single men, they're like, "Oh man, like, the wife and kids are away. Like, well, how are you going to spend the time? You can do whatever you want." It's like
Like,
I'm
what would that be?
yeah, it's like I'm gonna go
I mean, in
home
your mind,
and be
like,
depressed, you know? It's like that's
yeah,
like because you actually like, you go home, people don't realize that without that like calling of you
yeah.
into something, you're like, uh,
My
what
life
is
is
what is
so
what is
boring.
there to do that's worth doing? That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want, but is there anything worth doing, right? It does not bring me alive like coming home to a madhouse does, you know? So obviously like there's a place to like, find to get alone and to find something. But once you found it, like you have to do something with it, you know? And so
Mm.
like if you don't get married, if you don't like give your life wholly to someone who is the opposite of you in a lot of like not like superficial ways. Like we don't disagree on like, what are we in the mood to eat or like, or like, clear moral issues like what's right and what's wrong. We disagree in like deeper ways. Both feeling something good and yet so different from each other. You find out what you're meant to be doing, even in shallow day-to-day things, because your spouse, like you see a problem in your day-to-day life, and your spouse isn't even aware that it's there. Because I grew up with like this Italian mother who was like so practical and everything has its place and there's a reason for it being there and like we do things at this time in the day. And that was her way of like expressing love and like bringing order and like focusing. And Audrey grew up with like a mother who was like an artist.
She wasn't as focused on like everything being all ordered.
Like, didn't you say one time that like the neighbors were like, your grass is
That's a great
like
example.
your grass is out of control, like you need to mow it. And it's like, and your mom was like, we're not raising grass, we're raising children, you know? And
Right.
so in other words, like
Yeah.
like her way of expressing like her love and care for her family was like, making sure that like morally and like emotionally
Yeah.
is that in line. And this again, from my perspective, it's unusual because I did not grow up in a home like this where the husband is like,
The
we need to
neat freak.
clean. Like we like I like the toothpaste cap is not on the toothpaste. Like we're gonna get germs and die. And for like months, right? I was like secretly stewing in like she doesn't care about our life
Oh my
because
gosh. Slob. I mean, looking back, like
the truth comes out
no, I was a serious slob and had no idea. I mean,
and didn't even
Sleep
realize,
was
right?
oblivious to it. And I mean, I had
I'd
to
like
change.
secretly clean the toilet because I'd
Oh
be
my
like
gosh.
afraid you'd be embarrassed.
So I was messy and sensitive.
Right. Or, oh, I mean, we're
Really,
all
really
sensitive in the
bad.
beginning of marriage, right?
Uh,
Because we're not used to that other. But like, but it's you realize, wait, but that like if I was also with a neat freak, right? Like, what would I
hmm,
be bringing to the other? Of course, we'd be more comfortable and like it'd be easier to
yeah.
learn to live together. But see, if I had married a neat freak, we would be freaks together, right? And the fact that you bring the like no, let's go have fun. Let's go like who cares about that? Like let it go, Tyler. Or like, let's take it to another level. Like if we were gonna start this channel together,
Oh my
I
gosh,
would have
it
like
never would have started.
right, because I would have written like I would have worked on the script for
Yeah.
this first God Talk for 6 months, and you're like, no, this thing is happening now. Pop, boom, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, we can't do that. And then I'm gonna like bring order and make sure there's like a reason and a meaning to it, and it goes in the right direction, right? It's not just
Yeah.
like an explosion, right? That's true about us. But that's true about marriage. And really, I think the point that we're finding out is what this first video is about. If it's not too, not superficially, but profoundly like different opposite people that come together, then you're not sacrificing anything by finding a life
Yeah.
together. You're
Yeah.
not discovering anything
Yeah.
and you're not becoming something. And that's kind of a hard thing to hear. Maybe if a single person is watching this, you're kind of like, how dare you? Like I'm complete and I'm whole like as I am. But that's not true. And and I'm not going to say that you're not complete until you are in a heterosexual marriage or like a like a Christian marriage covenant. What I'm saying is that the marriage covenant is one place where you will truly find that if you enter into it. A real relationship with Jesus is the other place
Yeah.
where you can find that, like, because you
Yeah.
lay down your life for one who is not going your way, right?
Mm.
Like the Lord is going somewhere, and it's 100% true that you are not going to go that way if you're not in covenant with him because your natural inclination, who you are apart from him, doesn't want to make that sacrifice because the Lord is going to a place of sacrificial love that you cannot go to without his strength and encouragement and wisdom and guidance and clarity. Like you won't find it. You will turn away from that because the way is too hard and it's too unclear and it seems not worth it and impossible. But when you meet him, you find something worth giving up yourself for. And that's the magic of marriage too, the Christian marriage.
Mm.
Like I wanted her and not just the beauty, not just the like sexual side of it, the comfort, the mystery, the otherness, the drawing of like I don't quite get this, but I know it's good and I want it to be a part of my life. And if other people were not in my life and I was just alone, how would I live my life? I know that my life without you would be so much more colorless. It would have less purpose because it would just be practical. It would be functional.
Mm.
My world would be like, I have to achieve these things. These things need to get done. But because there isn't like, why am I doing it? I wouldn't do it for the enjoyment of others. I would do it just to get it done. I would just be like, I would be so much more like a robot. Like, let me tell you that if I lived by myself, our mantle wouldn't look like this. Like I wouldn't even remember that it was fall. I found out literally, I found out it was fall when I saw the mantle. The way that you love to celebrate making things magical. You think of things that are just such a gift to people, the way you make things beautiful. I never would have thought of this. A man builds a life and a woman makes it worth living, right? And I never would have found that without you. If I just lived with another dude, the mantle wouldn't look like that. We would probably barely talk. Oh, you broke your leg. Like, let me take you to the hospital. Otherwise, like, are you eating that? You know, that is from a male perspective, the mystery and the glory, I think, of like finding the other that is a woman. So
This is like all pointing to God, to
right.
Jesus. How controversial can we get?
Let's just go for
This whole thing with Charlie Kirk and like him being a martyr. I'm like, I've always like hated like martyr. I'm like, I don't want to hear about Stephen in the Bible. I don't want to hear him. Like, I'm so upset when people get killed for their faith and knowing even that there's like we learn like, oh, but it's so powerful, like when Jesus died, that when a seed falls to the ground, then like that's when like the magic happened. I'm like, that's a mystery, okay? And now we're seeing like, holy cow,
look at
the
people's
the
response, look at the
effects
fruit. Yeah,
the
yeah.
effects are what like we've been longing for, to see people wake up, to see people like longing for God and connecting with him. That wouldn't have happened without this horrific thing happening. That's a mystery. So much mystery that you can barely even think about it, barely talk about it. Like, obviously, God didn't want that to happen. You know, this is a mystery. I wish, as a college age girl, who all I wanted to do was to get married,
Right.
I wish I had been given the vision at the beginning. Like, do you know that one of the most amazing things about marriage is like, not that you're going to get married and be like worshiped. Like, you're not going to suddenly find yourself in a Jane Austen movie where you're the heroine and like you finally get that feeling of like, I'm the one he's waited for all of his life, you know, like
It's a musical.
rather, but if I had known, actually, like marriage is you losing yourself and finding your true self, losing who you think you are. And even like
And it is a part of who you are, but you don't realize the part of the larger story that it is, right? So you
it's really like dropping the things that are like dead weight. And it's like dropping the parts of me that were not loving, not helpful, not really who I was. And what I'm getting at is that marriage is a version of that. But obviously, it's like a shadow to what it is in our relationship with God, like where we're
yeah,
headed,
totally.
where we're headed with Him. The more, the deeper we go, the more we're like, oh my gosh, like I am losing. If I want to get the real thing, who I really am, I'm going to have to lose. I'm going to have to get rid of these things in me that are like holding me back, you know? And he's the one who gets to choose what that is. And that's how marriage is too.
You know, the Bible says it says about the Lord, in your light, we see what light really is, right? So like stepping away from marriage for a second,
Yeah.
like relationship with the Lord, right? Like when I was growing up, like I discovered I love being in front of people and performing, singing, acting, right? I love moving people's hearts and like taking them someplace. I thought it was for me. I'm gonna be a famous actor. I'm gonna go after like being a performer and like making a spectacle of myself. This gift must be in me to make me famous. That's what it's for, right? And also, I liked listening to people's problems and like helping them with their issues. And so it must be that I'm meant to be like a therapist or a psychologist or something, right? But then when I met Jesus, it's like he opened up to me, nope, like I did not give you that gift to make you famous. I gave you that gift because I want you to tell people about me in a compelling way. You're not a performer, you're a preacher, right? I didn't give you that compassionate heart and like the desire to understand what's really going on in people so you can help them see things clearly because you're a psychologist. It's because you have a pastor's heart. Like you are meant to help people get healed inside so they can live healthy lives, you know, in the Lord, not just like inside their own heads. And so in the same way, marriage is the same thing.
Yes,
In
yes,
the
that's what it
light
was.
of a relationship with someone else, you discover what the light you had was really for. Like the end result of you being unleashed, like unleashing what's in you without it being like restrained into what's right, will be a disaster, right? And so, but when you finally like are joined to the one that's gonna like help you discern like what the right fight to fight is, then you're get like the fruit of your life is gonna really get somewhere. You really don't know yourself until you see the way the person you're meant to be with is seeing you. Like I didn't realize how strong and disciplined I was until that doesn't sound
It's like until I saw someone who wasn't.
was totally no.
Yeah.
But right, like
Yeah,
and
it's
I did,
true.
but I
It's
also didn't,
sadly, it's very
but I
true.
also didn't realize how micromanaging and control freak I was until I I really learned from you how to launch out into something and giving up control, knowing it was right. If I don't see where it's going and I can't plan out like or think about how it's going to go, even if I know it's right, it's like it was impossible for me to just like launch out. And I have learned that from you, you know? I didn't know what was in me and where my limitations were, but like together we've gone places I never would have gotten to.
I'm like a fireball and I need the right direction, you know? And if I don't have the right direction, it's like this energy just goes off into La La Land. The thing is, I want the right direction. Like I
And the
actually
Lord knew
can't.
that, and that's why he gave you me.
Yes, I can't discern it on my own.
Then you're like, Tyler, press play.
I
We're
know.
we're starting these talks.
Definitely.
And I'm like, I think we should we should strategize this more
No
first.
more.
And it's like, no, like we both know it needs to happen, but like
Yeah.
you're like, no, it's time. And then we find it together, And so we want to talk to people that are married and they're like, why is this so hard? Like, how, like, is there a purpose to this? Where is this meant to go? Right? We want to talk to those people. We also want to talk to the people that are not married, because there's so many people today that are just living together or they've been hurt, they don't want to be in a relationship, and they don't understand, like, someday you're going to be 60, 70 years old. You're not going to be married, you're not going to have kids and you will never have been called out of yourself.
It can sound so like, ugh, or like religious. Like, I don't want anything to do with like some deadbeat relationship where I just have to lose myself and like that stinks.
What
Like,
about me?
well, no, I mean, just actually, it's crazy how much you think you're losing yourself.
Right.
And then you're like I personally had to go through this process where I thought like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna be not myself anymore. I'm just gonna die. Especially early on. I felt like we were so butting heads just in our way of being. And I really felt like you didn't get me
In certain
in
areas.
certain areas. Amazingly, we were still like
Really happy. Yeah.
having crazy fun. It's just there were times where it was like, there's a part of me that is not welcome here. But what was actually happening was I was like gaining this discipline in my heart and in my spirit. You have to kind of like explore that. Like I had to explore what is dumb and garbage and not actually me and what is worth keeping. And just now having gone through it, now I look back at myself as a single person and before us, and I'm embarrassed by myself. People thought I was deep, but comparatively, I'm like, wow, I was vapid. What was even my life about? Like, I have gained so much, and I'm so much stronger in who I am. Marriage is meant to be the cage fight situation.
Yeah.
And so it's like whether you're like perfect soulmates where it's easy or you're like I mean you're just called together.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in the cage fight. You know what I mean? Like it's still surprising to me when we fight. It's still like whoa, but I always know like okay, this sucks, but we're gonna get through it.
And I think it's funny because now we fight. This is awesome. Okay. We gotta include this part. I think it's awesome that when we have like real fights now, right, where we are like upset and like really vehemently disagreeing, I find that we're like it's like an out of body experience because like here's my opinion, here's your opinion, and here's the fight that we're having.
I agree with that.
But
Yeah.
it's almost like we're both standing outside of our bodies, like what is really going on here?
I know.
Like we're
Yes.
almost
It's like
we're
Doctor Strange.
yes, we know this is gonna work out. And it's like we're playing our roles, but it's like, what is she really thinking? Like, I don't understand why she is feeling so passionate in this direction. Like, what? And so we'll like let it all out because we know we're gonna work it out. But then we like come around, like, I think I know what's happening here. And then you'll be like, that is not what's happening. Like, I think this is what's happening and we really dig into like get down into what is this about and what is happening here and it can still be like we can like get to the end of a fight and we're still in hypothesis mode like we still don't know why we're so worked up about this right and like it has to happen again and again and but eventually we
Yes.
drill down
Yes.
and we're like all right I have a real theory now like I have like I think I know
Does
what is
happen.
happening
It's
here.
when there's a fight, there's a series of fights.
Yes,
And it's like
like the
what
theme.
is
There's a
the
theme, like an undercurrent.
worked out. That's
Yeah,
we shouldn't even call it fights. I mean, maybe that Because I
Well,
don't know. No, it's heated. It's
disagreements,
heated for
heated
sure.
disagreements, yeah, passionate
There's a
disagreements.
conflict going on, but it's
Yeah.
like, what is this? What was that recent one about? I like, are we still in the middle of it?
You mean the one I'm fuming about right now?
That's how important it is. Can't remember.
And this is one thing that we've been dealing with is I can like be saying
Oh,
the
yeah.
right thing, but I can be being too harsh about it. And I need to remember that like you are my wife, not my like coworker. Like I need to be tender and thought and like and restrained still, even when I'm worked up about something. And like you can't necessarily like receive
Mm.
my like real like my hard feelings about it without feeling threatened. Like, what does this mean? Like, why are you being like this? And it's understandable because I don't need to put that on you. I need to like learn how to communicate in that context. I need to remember that it's not okay to like be crushing or negative while like also saying, I think this is important, and I remember that we were talking about you, like that when you feel threatened, I feel that you take the conversation away from like constructive, like we're trying to find a solution, and you think because maybe because I'm being harsh, you're like now we're in a fight, and so I'm just gonna start throwing punch. Like this is to strike back and not to move us forward. That's how I feel, and I'm like, and then I'm like, this conversation is over because clearly we're not going anywhere anymore, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
and then I shut it down, and you're like, you won't even talk
I
to me. And I'm
know.
like, what's the point? Right. And so, and again, I don't remember what the context of the conversation was, but probably more
So, but
importantly,
whenever you do that, I'm always surprised. I'm like, who is this like Italian guy who's just like, no more talking? Like,
oh yeah, right.
because I don't
Um,
know that I feel like that's off limits unless it's literally like timeout. We're exhausted. Let's just go to bed. See how we are in the
right. And that
morning
is what
or
I'm
something.
doing. I'm just
And
not
you
saying
say
it
it to
like that.
no,
Right. No,
you say
yeah.
it like I can't talk to you, woman. You're so crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, you're just throwing punches. Like we're not like we're not having we're not going anywhere anymore. Like good night. And I'm mean about it. Like I'm not like I'm like, let's talk about this later when we all have a clearer head. I'm like, we're done. Good night, And so yeah. So that's yeah, and that's interesting, right? That we don't know what we were talking about, but it's because
Because it
we're
wasn't even about what we were talking
right.
about. It was about
The
this.
more important thing is
Yeah.
learning like how a husband is meant to treat a wife. And it's not like this is the correct way to do it. It's like this is the way that works, and we're learning
Yeah, how
what
to get somewhere.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
how like it doesn't matter what I think I'm saying as much as what is being communicated and vice versa.
Mm,
It's like if I'm saying something that is correct and right, but it can't be received as it's being communicated, then that doesn't matter
yeah.
and I would say in a woman's world, like I
Mm,
mean, in the sense that like I have to figure out if I want to get a message across, I have to figure out the way that it will translate, because facts are not the only part of the message, and so
yeah.
yeah, people that are married and realize like we need to figure out how to communicate better. A lot of the things that we have been talking about, I think, are
I
like
agree.
that is truth.
Yeah.
That's a way forward, Like I can hang my hat on that and have hope that we're going there, And so I think that's so important and that's what we're going to do. So, I don't think we're always going to talk about marriage.
Right.
We're going to talk about like other things going on in our lives, in the world. We're going to talk about spiritual things, like talking about the deeper realities of relating to God, um,
And what God's doing.
and what God's doing in the world.
Yeah.
But we just feel that this stuff, we don't hear this stuff being said out there.
Mm.
Like we are like, where's like the people speaking about deeper truth, like where's the stuff that's going to help people actually get somewhere, get deeper, get healthier, get more
Mhm.
whole and like understanding what life is about. There's no one talking about these things. So we just
Yeah.
realized like we talk about this stuff like every night once the kids are in bed. Like we are getting somewhere together. How can we include people in where like we are going together? And we realize rather than like creating some sort of like lessons, let's just turn the camera on and like have these conversations, and people that are looking how to find this stuff, they're going to find it
Yeah.
here. And
Yeah.
so that seems like a really easy way and good way to do it. So there we go. There's God Talk number one.
God talk.
Love you.
Love you. Love you. Mm. So fun.